Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again.
Really? Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamarty4 here once again. We are going to be recapping and reviewing this week's episode of Rupauls Drag Race. Before I get started, I want to thank you guys again so much for all the support that you have given my channel thus far. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to go unnoticed. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead because I'm trying to make this one quick because I feel like every time I try to make them quick, they end up getting longer and longer. But let's go ahead and get started into this whole RuPaul's Drag Race Season 12 episode. What's this, 11? I think the one woman show, child. Let go. So we're fresh off of last week's episode where both queens, Jackie and Heidi in Closet, were saved. And, you know, of course, Jackie's just feeling like, whoo, because I'm like, when you're in that position, you can only imagine like how much of your heart is just like pumping out of your chest. So the fact that she was saved, I know she's grateful. Props to Jackie. But Gigi had a moment that was very similar, if you guys remember back to season 10 with Aquaria, had their little double save between, who was it, Eureka and Cameron Michaels? Which I feel like Cameron Michaels should have won, but you know what we're talking about season 10 right now, talking about season 12. She was talking about how annoyed she was that, I mean, I'm glad that you're here. I love you. You're my sister. Mwah. But now we're back at 6 girls, and now that gives me one more chance that I could potentially be put in the bottom, even though I'm not going to be put in the bottom because Rupaul is up my ass. And I mean, it's a viable feeling. It's a viable feeling to have. Like if you're in a competition where each week expecting somebody else to go, where you can potentially be further or closer to the end and succeeding and potentially winning, extending that by 1 week could potentially be your downfall. So I definitely understand where Gigi was coming from, but it was just kind of funny how she put it. On to the mini challenge, which is puppets. So first up, Crystal Method gets Jackie and honestly pulls what I believe is probably one of my favorite lines and memes to come out of this season of the show.
Look over there!
Jackie Cox plays Sherry Pie. Sherry Pie plays Heidi in Closet, and honestly, and I hate to say it, but it was funny. The shit was funny. Her wig fell off. It was dusty. Damn her for being good. I know each week I completely cut her out and dismiss her in these edits, but damn it. The shit was funny. Ugh. Heidi in Closet portrayed Miss Crystal Method, and it was cute or whatever. I mean, it was kind of funny, but you know, it was cute. Jada made fun of Gigi always making garments with her mother, which, I mean, it was cute. Gigi portraying Jada. So Jackie Cox ends up winning the mini challenge, which is her third mini challenge wins. And I know she's like, child, can this add up to a Maxi challenge? Because is there a record for the most mini challenge wins of a queen? Because I feel like Jackie takes it. So now we're introduced to the Maxi challenge. And this week, the girls have to put on a one-woman show for what was supposed to be 5 minutes. But for some people, and they had to perform it in front of their guest judge, which is none other than the iconic, legendary Whoopi the Goldberg, who, if y'all did not know, which I think she talked about this on her masterclass with Oprah, how she got started by doing her one-woman show on Broadway, and they called her to do these acting roles that she didn't really think she could do, and she just ended up going in there and killing it, and then just the rest is history, to be honest. So I don't think they could have gotten anybody who could fit. I mean, I'm sure there's other talented one-woman show performers, I'm sure, but this was just like on the money as far as guest host casting. Probably my favorite guest host of the season, no lie. So since Jackie won the mini challenge, she's able to choose who goes after who and what the order of the show is going to be. Now, she says that, look, no matter what, I want to open the show, which is fine. She wants to lead off on a great start. But then everybody else is kind of like muddy, like they want to go in the middle. Everybody wants to avoid going last, basically. And so, I mean, Jackie's like, look, so who's gonna go last? Because somebody has to. And so she just kind of, you know, gives the spot to Jada, even though I could tell that Jada didn't want it, but I could see Jackie asked her, like, are you sure? Are you sure? But I felt like if somebody has to do it, and it felt like nobody else was willing to budge, and Jada was just like, you know what, fine, I'll do it. It doesn't even matter. So I'm just like, okay, child, because you know, if you have to close the show, you have to close the show strong, and it puts a lot of pressure on the person who has to do that role. Rehearsals. So we get to the rehearsals. Jackie's first up, and she wants to initially have this idea of doing like a rundown of the show, like season 1. She's talking about the filter. She tried to make a joke about there being like a shark moat in the front, and it was going nowhere, child. And so Whoopi gave her like the advice of, let us, you know, get to know the character. You only have 5 minutes, so you have to really pace it correctly, introduce the characters, let us love you, let us get the concept, and that's just the way you have to go with it. Which I feel like, I mean, she gave very sound advice throughout all of the contestants, but I felt like Whoopi's just like, you have to just go with your gut, go with your first instinct, go with what feels right. And I think my biggest takeaway, if I were to take one from what she said, and I think she said this further into the critiques, I can't remember where, but it just stuck with me when I heard it, is like, you have to do what feels funny to you. You have to do what feels right to you, because if you try to pander to the audience, then one person might like it, but then the other person doesn't like it. And then, you know, that person might find it funny, but the other person doesn't find it funny. Like, you can't always try and people please the audience. You have to really do what works for you, and then just kind of let the audience, you know, fall where it may. Because if you're not enjoying it, the audience will usually be able to tell that you're not enjoying it and pick that up, and it's not gonna be received well at all. But if they can feel like you're having a good time, then they could warm up and have a good time along with you. So I feel like that was probably the best sound advice that anybody who's doing any form of entertainment, production, or what have you, can take, because that's what I do, you know, for myself. I try to make content that I enjoy. That's why sometimes when I stop enjoying doing content or talking about something, I just don't do it anymore. So I take that sound advice, and I thank Whoopi for it. Love you, Whoopi. Heidi came into the rehearsal with the idea that she wanted to, you know, portray her whole family. And of course, she's going to play all these different roles. And Whoopi was giving her advice on the drunk uncle. And I'm like, I know that I'm going to know exactly a lot of the references that Heidi is going to give. And I was really, really excited for it. But we're going to talk about and finish Heidi and her skit when we get to it. Crystal wanted to portray a male exotic dancer, which it caught me off guard. I did not expect that. But then I'm like, Crystal has been very silent killer sort of in this competition. She hasn't won yet up at till this very point, but it's kind of like whenever we thought like, oh, this might be it, she always ends up knocking it out the park. So it's kind of like I've gotten conditioned to not know exactly how Crystal is going to come through, but yet she always does. Sherry Pie. So Miss Gigi Good comes out with this idea that she wants to play a flight stewardess or a flight attendant on the airway to hell. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying it. You know, airway puns and airline, you know, that's a funny concept that people can make a lot of jokes out of. Okay, let's do it. And she sounds very rehearsed, because you can tell that Gigi's very, you know, I like to write things out, you know, rehearse it down, and then just memorize it and perform it. And improv just doesn't work for her. And I mean, improv is a lot harder than people think it is. Like, because sometimes your first thought don't really make sense, and some people can't really get things together until they kind of mold their thoughts together. So I could understand where Gigi came from, but it was cringeworthy to watch her try. But lastly, Jada was giving her, you know, speech, or her rehearsal, and the biggest takeaway was the moment that she just kind of had between her and Whoopi, how she was listening to the Color Purple soundtrack on her way prepping for the show, and you could just tell that she was a very big fan, because, you know, those of us who are African American really, really look up to Whoopi, and, you know, the roles that she's taken in films like, of course, The Color Purple and Sister Act, and we just really like have so much high respect and regard for her, that to her to be in front of us giving advice on a one-woman show, like I was getting emotional watching this. So it was such a pleasure to see this scene between her and Jada. Mirror moments. There wasn't really a lot discussing within this mirror moment that I wanted to necessarily cover, but however, there was one crime that was committed, child. Jada, you know I love you down. Oh, also, shout out to Jada Essence because she put me in her story the past couple of days, and I posted that on my Instagram story. Mwah, that was so cool. But Jada, how could you not know who Rose Nyland is from the Color? Oh, I'm about to say from the Color Girls, child. Woo! Can you imagine? No, from the Golden Girls. When she said that, I'm like, now wait a minute. I thought it was like a rite of passage to know the Golden Girls as a member of the LGBT community. But then again, I can't really say too much because I haven't seen the movie Hocus Pocus. Don't y'all read me in those comments. I know you are typing it right now. Yes, I have not seen the movie Hocus Pocus, but it's on my to-do list. It's there. Don't try it. On to the main stage. So Mama Ru came in her little purple, I don't want to call it like it wasn't necessarily a gown. I'm not sure what the kind of garment is, but it was sickening. She was giving you a little leg, and the wig was extra platinum today. Like, Ru wears blonde wigs, but this was like reflecting off the light of the camera. It was so bright. I mean, it looked amazing. It was styled perfectly, but I'm just like, damn, that color it's there. And of course we have our iconic guest judge, Miss Whoopi Goldberg. So we're gonna sit here and judge these runways, which of course is perfectly themed the color purple. Like, this episode is it just satisfies my OCD so well. All right, now let's get to the actual one-woman show. So the show kicks off with Miss Jackie Cox, and she kind of goes and lays out the foundation that, she is going to be playing both of her parents, her mom and her dad. Now, I can tell you, I knew exactly where Jackie was going, and I knew it was going to be good when she laid out the different styled glasses on each chair. I'm like, she's going to go to each chair, and I'm going to see a completely different character transformation, which is exactly what she did. It was actually very funny, and I was able to visualize everything that she was saying. I could get an entire differentiation between both her mother and her father, and it really just came together so perfectly and gave an insight, to who Jackie is and how she came to be. So very well done for Jackie. Crystal Method came out there, and I can't even, I don't have words to explain what Crystal Method came out there and did. Like, it was so good and so funny. And I feel like that performance is sort of the embodiment of how you really just don't take yourself too seriously. Just go out there and have fun and just go crazy. And with this crazy idea, like, I wouldn't even have thought to do a performance like that. Like, it was so odd but so good. Like, I love Crystal. I really love Crystal from the beginning, and like her doing the cat wiggle and the dump it and all the crazy puns and the weird, uncomfortable, strange stripping with the bodysuit. Like, it was so just innocent and fun and weird and stupid, and I loved every minute of it. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Miss Heidi Closet and her family. I did not think that Heidi did that bad. However, when Ru said towards the end that he felt like her main downfall for that was that she included too many different characters. I feel like, for me, if she had honed in and focused on grandma versus auntie and the nasty potato salad, I feel like that would have been it. Like, I was with her, and I was, because I don't know if that just comes from, me being African-American and both of my parents having roots in the South. So we have those grandmas who talk shit about everybody's cooking, and we do have that one aunt who swears she can cook down and everything is nasty. Everything is nasty. So I was like, oh yes, I know exactly what she's talking about. But then when she started to try to include, the drunk uncle and, oh gosh, I can't remember the name that she gave the cousin who always comes in and be extra and loud and boisterous or whatever. Like, it kind of got diluted and everybody did start sounding somewhat the same. So I felt like it was really nitpicky because I feel like it wasn't bad, but if she had just honed in, I feel like on just between grandma and auntie on that potato salad, she would have won. So Miss Gigi Good came out there and she did precisely what it is that she wanted to do. She interacted with the audience. She called people out of their name. Everything was great. She made a salted versus unsalted nuts joke. But let me tell you something, Miss Good. I'm gonna have to see you in court and sue you because, bitch, when she said you have arrived in hell, welcome to Detroit, I said, now wait a minute, bitch. Because I'm from Detroit, I was born and raised there, and I was like, did she really just come from my city like that? But you know what? You were not lying. Sherry Pie. So Miss Jada comes out here and she's talking about, so she's gonna put the P in pageant. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Jada has been, you know, really, really funny and consistent up until this point. Let's see what she got. Jada girl, you know I love you. You know I love you down. I was so lost. I was so lost because I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so she's judging this pageant, and did she say that Rupaul was her boyfriend? Okay, so she's got up from the pageant table. Is she blowing her boyfriend in the bathroom? I think she's blowing her boyfriend in the bathroom. Okay, oh, he's peeing on her. Oh, this is a golden shower. Ooh, that's kind of nasty. And then, okay, now she's peeing on the main stage. Why are you peeing on the main stage? Like, these are the thoughts that, these are the thoughts that I was having through the whole performance, and I'm just like, oh. And you know what? Ross Matthews pointed this out. Like, when she stopped and came out of that story and was like, ooh, y'all ain't laughing, child. Like, like that's when she was actually like funny and she had our attention. But then she just kept going back into her story and we just kind of like went, woo. So, on to the runway for the color purple. First up is Miss Jackie Cox. Now, honestly, this is my favorite runway that Jackie has gotten. The judges, you know, didn't really care for it too much the way that I did, but this was sickening. This definitely gets a sickening. She was like the purple, what do they call it? The purple people eater? I'm pretty sure that's what the thing is called. Purple people eater? Let's go with that. It was silly, it was fun, it was campy. Y'all know I love camp, I love costume, sue me. But I love the colors. I really just loved everything about this look. It was fun. She pulled out the little tongue and it had a little Molly stamp on it. That was a creative little detail. I like that. Jackie, you get a sickening. Crystal Method. Crystal Method came out with horns and like this periwinkle and purple type of rags type of look and whatnot. And I'm certain that she was making references to something very abstract and high art, but the only thing I could think of when looking at Crystal was this. But she still gets a salute. Heidi came out in a gorgeous purple gown. Her hair was done. The makeup was looking right. And she just came out and gave you that slow pageant. I am in this tight gown that I cannot breathe in, but you are going to eat it up because I look sickening. That was the look that Heidi was giving me. She gets a salute from me. Gigi child. Gigi came out in her Daphne Scooby-Doo inspired look. And honestly, it wasn't bad. The only thing about that look that was distracting for me personally was the tulle arms. I felt like she just had like a bare arm or maybe like a glove. Something else other than that. That part distracted me. So, I mean, it's still a salute. It's a safe look. But that's the only thing about it that I would change is just take those things off and give me like a full-length arm glove or something. Or just a bare arm with nails. I don't know. I just didn't like the tulle. Sherry Pie. Jada Essence Hall comes out and she's giving me the couture. I don't know what it is about that little, I don't even know if it's even couture, child. I'm not a fashion girl. But that whole thing on the hat on the side in that weird shape, I always live for that. And she had like the leg out similar to what Rupaul was wearing, serving it. Everything was great, except if I were to be nitpicky, Miss Jada, the only thing about this look that I didn't like was the texture of the wig. There was a little bit of straggly hairs. There was some that was kind of running away. There was some that was trying to run away, but that's the only, and that's being nitpicky because we're like what, the top 6. So that's me being really, really nitpicky. But other than that, it's still sickening. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna give Jada sickening every week. So we get to the end of the episode and Crystal wins her first challenge. congratulations, Crystal. You definitely deserve it. And I'm sure like that phenomenal fill performance is gonna follow you. I hope you put that into all of your merch because I'm buying it. And so our bottom two for this week is going to be between Miss Jada Essence Hall and Miss Heidi in Closet. And they both performed Prince 1999. Now that's like, I mean, almost every Prince song is iconic, but like if it's not When Doves Cry or Purple Rain, why didn't they do Purple Rain? Why didn't they do Purple Rain? They could not, it had to have been that they couldn't get the rights to Purple Rain, because if it's a purple runway with a star from The Color Purple, you're doing a Prince song, and he has an iconic song called Purple Rain. Why didn't we do Purple Rain? It had to have been copyright. There's no way that they let that miss. But they did 1999, and what I did not expect is that Jada ripped that thing off, and she had like a little short wig underneath, and she was, hey, doing all of that, and gave you a little split and whatnot. And I mean, Heidi was in a gown. Heidi tried to, lift it up and, give what she could, child. But Jada ate that up. Jada ate that up. Whenever Jada's performing, it's something about the way that she moves that's just so entertaining and funny to me that I just can't help it. I just can't help but look and watch her. So, unfortunately, Miss Heidi in Closet did get sent home. But I mean, RuPaul all but said to her, "We're casting you for All Star 6." She basically said, like, you are a star, like, I love you, I can't wait for the world to see you, we're casting you for All Star 6. And I can't wait to see Heidi again, and honestly, I send her all the love and light. She has just been such a pleasure to watch on this season. I really think that everybody's really gonna love her, and everybody does love her. I know I do. I see nothing but positive things about her online, and even things that are negative. It's just kind of like, girl, you can't help but love her still. So I show love and light to Heidi in Closet. Can't wait to see her out on the road again. I did get to meet her really briefly at one of the premiere showings at Mickey's in West Hollywood. I'm gonna show y'all this picture right here. So yes, we salute and love Miss Heidi in Closet. Now we're up to our top 5, technically 4, queens left in the competition. And next week, I think, is the big performance of the group number that they do each season. So I'm really looking forward to that. Those are usually some of my favorite episodes. So thank you guys so much again for watching. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All my social media links will be in the bottom for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Just look me up under Jamar84. That's Jamar, and the numbers 8 and 4. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Jamar, Washington, Washington.